So you're considering making a move to Utah and you don't know where to start? That's exactly why I'm here to help. And today in this video, I'm going to cover everything that you need to know if you're considering making the move right here to Utah. Every single day I talk to new people, and inevitably 8 or 9 times out of 10, they'll say they're not from Utah. These are my favorite conversations to have because I get to ask the question. My second favorite question is, why of all places did you choose to move right here to Utah? And after having hundreds, even thousands of these very conversations, I've put together this list to help people that are considering making the move so that you can be better prepared for whatever choices you decide to make. In the most recent U.S. News & World Report rankings for states, Utah was named number 1 yet again for the best state overall, as well as the best state for jobs and for the economy. And at this point, for those that are native Utahns like myself, I feel like the secret's out at this point. People know and love Utah for so many different reasons. We've talked about that in other videos before, but in this video, I'm here to prepare you for things that you need to know if you're considering making that move yourself. And if we haven't met yet, my name is Steele. I'm a local Utah real estate professional. I find a passion in helping people discover all things Utah, including Utah real estate. And if you're considering making that move yourself, or perhaps you've already moved here, I would love to be that real estate resource for you and help guide you in any way that I possibly can. And you can find my contact information in this channel as well as the description below. So call me, text me, or email me anytime. I've got some really good resources for people that are looking to make that move. And as always, I am the one that responds to those emails, those texts, and those calls. Okay, let's get back to the video. So I've put together this list of things in this video of the things that you really need to know and be aware of when you're making the move to Utah. And for those that aren't from Utah, most people know of Utah in terms of the major city here, which is Salt Lake City. And by no means, Salt Lake City is not a major large city, but it has grown up from being a small city up to now a medium-sized city. And we do have the Salt Lake City metro area here in Salt Lake County, as well as the Provo-Orem metro, and up north we have Ogden. And these 3 metropolitan areas have all blended together right here along the front of the Wasatch Mountains. So this metropolitan area almost feels like one linear metropolitan area that's all connected. Most people have heard of Salt Lake City, but you might find other places just outside of Salt Lake City, perhaps in Provo or up north in Ogden, or even in Park City. And each of those places has so many different areas that you're going to want to think about and consider to find out what's best for you and your lifestyle. And just like most metropolitan areas, when you're closer to a city, you typically have more opportunities, whether that be restaurants or nightlife or entertainment, but also jobs. So the closer you get to some of these cities, you'll typically have more opportunities, but along with that comes a busier lifestyle, which for some people, they really like that and they thrive in that environment. And for others, they're looking for something a little more subtle. The cost of living is on the rise. A lot of people here have moved from California and other places, and it has driven up the demand for property and for real estate here, and that has increased the cost of living. But to get started with the very first point that I wanted to make in this video is the job market. I've asked so many people why they've made the move to Utah, and inevitably it comes down to 2 things. It's their job or it's the outdoors, or a combination of both. When we talk about the job market here in Utah, it is absolutely thriving and is ranked as the number 1 state in the country for jobs. So if you're looking to find a really good job, this might be a really good fit, but it's also worth noting what industries are thriving here. The tech scene is really booming with Silicon Slopes along the Wasatch Front, as well as other industries in healthcare, in aerospace, and so many other industries. And Utah is known as a very entrepreneurial state. This state is full of people that are small business owners. It is really a thriving place if you're looking to start, grow, or expand your current business. And another thing that I wanted to mention about the job market is Utah has one of the most diverse economies, which creates a great opportunity regardless of the business or the type of job you're looking for. Okay, the next thing you really need to know if you're considering making that move to Utah is the culture. For many people, it's a culture shock. We are a different and peculiar people here, so it's worth at least considering what does that mean for you and your lifestyle and your family. We are a very family-friendly state. Utah has routinely been voted as one of the absolute most friendliest states in the country, so hopefully your experience in moving here finds you being welcomed with open arms. And of course, you can't always say that that's the case. Many people have had bad experiences, and I think that happens everywhere. But as a local Utahn myself, I hope that everybody feels loved when they come here, regardless of where they're coming from. And hopefully you end up having the best neighbors you've ever had. But I know that that doesn't happen all the time. Okay, next up, I had some really good conversations just this week with people that have moved here from out of state. And one of the things that they were really in love with Utah, within an hour and a half or an hour, we can be out on the Bonneville Salt Flats, we can be up in the mountains, we can be skiing, mountain biking, we can get down to southern Utah and go explore national parks if we just go a little bit further. There's such a diverse landscape here, but it also acts as a really good hub for travel. If you want to get away to Vegas, it's only 5 hours to the south. If you want to get away to the mountains, it's really close by. If you want to get to California, it's a short flight. So being positioned centrally in the western United States, it's a really good place to be if you want to hop over to LA or San Francisco or up to Seattle or Denver, Phoenix, Las Vegas, it doesn't matter. It's a really good central place to be if you want to get to those spots. Next up is something that's really important to me for everybody that's considering making the move here, but also for people that already live here. And that is, we do have rapidly rising prices in real estate. Real estate here in Utah, typically in the past, has been a really good bargain. It's been one of the less expensive places in the past, but those days are gone. The secret is out. People love Utah. They're coming here in droves. The state has grown more than any other state in the country since 2010. And with that comes the growth and the pain of that growth. And that is reflected in our real estate prices. And ultimately, that means that only about a handful of other states in this country have more expensive real estate than here in Utah. But as more and more people move here, along with that growth comes other jobs, other opportunities. I think that in the future, Utah really needs to focus on expanding the number of units that we have for sale, because we're consistently finding ourselves in a shortage of inventory when it comes to housing. And with the average housing price being over $500,000, it's really crucial and important to get a better foothold on home affordability. Okay, next up, this one was really interesting, and I spoke to a couple of people who moved here from California, and this was really relevant, and that was our tax rate here in Utah. In Utah, we have a flat income tax rate of 5%. This might seem high if you're coming from certain states, but for those that are moving here from California, it's very attractive. And while that tax rate might not be completely compelling if you're not from California, for example, we do not have an estate tax, and we do have low property taxes. Overall, when it comes to taxes, Utah is in the better half of states across the country. And if you're looking to grow your business, it's a very business-friendly state as well. But while there are other states in the country like Florida, like Texas, where there's zero income tax, you might find that Utah's the right fit for you. Okay, next up is something that's well advertised and typically well known for those that make the visit to Utah, and that is our skiing. The ski industry is massive here. We have 14 ski resorts, and we have new ones coming. And those ski resorts are absolutely amazing. And you'll find that many of our resorts get drastically more snow than the ski resorts just next door in Colorado. For example, Alta and Snowbird and Brighton are local ski resorts that are just 15 to 20 minutes from Salt Lake City without traffic. And those ski resorts will see an average snowfall of over 500 inches per year. And each of these ski resorts has a unique combination of their amenities or their attractions. For example, if you're a hardcore skier, Alta Ski Resort is probably the one for you. And if you're really hardcore into snowboarding and skiing, the resort right next to Alta, which is Snowbird, is a phenomenal place, as it has the most rugged terrain and the most advanced terrain of any ski resort in the state. And for those looking for the more luxurious lifestyle and the more luxurious amenities, Park City Mountain Resort, as well as the canyons and Deer Valley up in Park City, might be the right fit for you. With all that said, the snow here is incredible. It's dry, it's fluffy, it's powder, and this is what drives the tourism here in Utah for the most part. The ski industry is massive, and all of the other things that come with that. And people typically fall within one of two categories. Either one, they visited Utah before for the outdoors or for skiing, or they're just not interested, but they're coming for their job. Regardless of what your intention is in moving here, you might find some really valuable things because of our ski resorts. There are so many activities that take place in the summertime as well that we can use. There are plenty of things that take place up at those resorts during the summertime as well, so it really doesn't matter what time of year. There's really cool things to experience at those resorts. Okay, next up, if you're moving to Utah and you have not visited the national parks here, you're missing out. You have to go check these out. So Utah is famous for housing some of the best national parks in the world. The 5 national parks of Utah are Arches National Park, Zion National Park, Canyonlands National Park, Capitol Reef National Park, And last but not least, Bryce Canyon National Park. These parks are adorned with diverse terrains, rugged mountains, and unbelievable rock formations. Everyone living or visiting Utah has to check out these national parks to gain an experience of a lifetime. I would suggest checking out the pictures and the videos you might find online to see and prepare and get ready and excited to see these national parks for yourselves. And to be honest with you, I don't honestly know how somebody could not be excited about moving to the Beehive State when we have this kind of beauty right here in our backyard. And it's not just about the national parks. There's so many other places in Utah outside of the national parks that are just as stunning. You can find almost every single type of terrain here. The state is dotted with majestic mountains, pine forests, massive deserts, salt flats, serene rivers, and crystal clear lakes. Utah is the best place for any nature lover, thanks to its stunning national parks, but so much more. You could expect to catch breathtaking sunsets, open-air arches on mountains, natural bridges to go hiking, or horseback riding. It doesn't matter what you're into. And if you're just coming to pay a visit to check these things out for yourselves, I've got some really good resources for that as well, so hit me up. Okay, next up, based on my many conversations, crime rate seems to be another thing of interest that people are really curious about, and Utah does have a very low crime rate. In Salt Lake City, for example, it has been on the rise over the years, but I think that's a symptom of pretty much any city that's growing up in size, and with that come more problems. And because Utah is so family-friendly and centered on certain core values, I think it's really a safe place to be. The non-violent crimes and theft and things of that nature have been on the rise, and to me that just comes because of the increased population. You're going to see more of that. I would just suggest if you live in the city, lock your car, keep things out of sight, and don't leave things out that are just inviting theft or people to come into your world, and to just simply lock things up and not leave things out in plain sight, whether that be in your car or whatever else the case might be. Just keep those things in mind and you'll be good. Next up, Utah is a creativity hub. Creativity, let's talk about that. It doesn't matter if it's performing arts or arts in general. Utah is a very creative place, and it's attracted a lot of people in so many different ways to show their creativity through whatever it is that they do right here in Utah. Also in Park City, which is very close to Salt Lake City, we have the Sundance Film Festival, which is the largest independent film festival in the United States. And as a piece of trivia, Quentin Tarantino is one of the many directors who caught their first break right here at the Sundance Film Festival. Okay, last up, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the educational system. The educational system here in Utah is one of the best in the country. Yes, we have larger class sizes in pre-K through 12, but when you think of secondary education, higher education, as well as pre-K through 12, we do have one of the best overall education systems in the country. I think it ranks in at about number 6 overall, but one thing that many don't talk about is the opportunities for alternative learning as well. If you're, for example, one of those families that homeschools, this is the most homeschool-friendly state in the country. There are so many different programs and different ways to take advantage of however you choose to educate your children. And I wanted to add, overall, Utah just adds so many great opportunities if you're looking to make that move. And if you are, reach out to me, call me, text me, or email me and give you the resources and guidance that you're going to want and need to make that move and that transition smoothly. And whatever it is you're coming for, whether it be a job or for the outdoors, I hope that we can make it the best experience possible. And until the next video, thanks guys.